neighbors. This is Music Festivals Podcast, the show that helps you get to know popular concert venues and music festivals before you go. I'm your host, Neighbor Nate, and I'm glad you're in the neighborhood. Hey, yo, neighbors, welcome back to Season 1, Episode 10 of the Music Festivals Podcast. As always, I am your host, Neighbor Nate, and this is the show that helps you get to know music festivals and festival venues before you go. And I'm excited about today because I just got back from Billy Strings Renewal out in Buena Vista, Colorado. It was a great trip. I was there for 4 days, and we're going to dig into that. We are doing 2 different episodes on this because it was such a great festival and there was so much to do. So this is part 1 of the recap, and the next recap will be next week. So make sure to tune in next Friday if you like what you're hearing. But before we get to all that, we are going to jump into some of this week's music festival news. Continuing along the lines of the destination festivals, these are coming into play right now. So there's a few that are happening in 2024. A lot of them are 2025. One that I've always wanted to go to is Strings and Soul. So this is a bluegrass festival in Mexico. The venue is the Sapphire Resort and Spa, but there's a lot of different hotels around the area. And this is happening December 12th through the 16th, 2024. Prices for this are kind of outrageous. I think it's all inclusive, but about $2,099 to all the way up to $3,998. So almost $4,000 per person. It's a very expensive festival. The thing about this is it's already sold out, right? So you can still get on the wait list. Lineup includes Green Sky Bluegrass. The String Dusters are going to be there. A Yonder Mountain String Band, Molly Tuttle and the Golden Highway. Just pretty much a great group of musicians are going to play at this festival. So you can still join the wait list for this, and you can do that at stringsandsoul.com. Pretty much try to get this on your radar for next week, because I'm not sure how the wait list is going to work, but this is definitely something that for next year I would like to attend this one. Another one that's coming up is the Tortuga Music Festival. And this is happening in Fort Lauderdale Beach in 2025, April 4th through the 6th in 2025. A little bit less travel if you're stateside. You can find out more information on this at tortugamusicfestival.com. The prices are about $99 down to get on the list. They haven't announced full prices yet. They haven't announced the lineup yet. So we're a little ways out, but this is definitely one that should be on your radar as well. Next up, we have Baja Wondergrass. So I wanted to feature this one. Again, another festival that is sold out. It's happening April 24th through the 26th, 2025 in Baja, California. And you're going to see bands like the Kitchen Dwellers and Pixie and the Partygrass Boys, which is actually a great band. And then also Bonfire Dub. So the reason why I bring this up is that this is produced by Bonfire Entertainment, and Scotty Staunton's band, Bonfire Dub, he actually is a musician as well, but he's the owner and producer of Bonfire Entertainment, who also just did Billy Strings Renewal. They also do a few other different festivals that are really, really good stuff. So check out Baja Wondergrass. I think this one is waitlist as well. You still have to join the wait list. Pricing on this was $289 for a 3-day pass, so much cheaper than some of the other destination festivals. But having an experience with a Bonfire Entertainment Festival, I will say this is on radar. These guys do a nice job. They do a really, really nice job with their festivals. And if you are interested to find out more about all these festivals, I do want to mention the folks at Music Festival Search. So Music Festival Wizard has a search engine that allows you to sort by all kinds of different criteria and find all kinds of different festivals to go to. So check out musicfestivalwizard.com and look specifically for the search engine. I think it's very, very helpful in planning and looking at, okay, what are the festivals that I want to go to, and can I get there early, and can I get cheaper prices? So I just got back from Billy Strings Renewal. And I'm surprised, as a Billy Strings fan, I actually did not know much about this, but billybase.net is a website that really kind of collects everything there is to know about Billy Strings, from shows to tours to songs. And this is the set list from Billy Strings Renewal, at least on the 28th of September. You'll notice that there's a lot of numbers going along with these songs. And the reason for that is this was a festival Billy Strings Festival that he actually did not play at. So if you've heard the news, Billy and his wife Allie were expecting, and as Murphy's Law would have it, Friday of this festival, Billy flies in. He does the Q&A, which we've got some video from that. And then shortly thereafter gets a call from his wife, or at some point during the afternoon gets a call from his wife, and her water broke. And so doing the right thing as a good dad, he jumps on a plane and goes back to, I think they might have been in Michigan. I'm not sure if they were going back to Nashville, but he got on a plane and got the hell out of there. Rumor has it that that plane actually belonged to Ringo Starr and was his private jet. Now, I don't know if I can verify that as a fact or not, but that was the rumor that was floating around the socials at the festival. So Billy flies back to check out the birth of his kid, which is what he should have done. And everybody else stepped up and really put on a great show in his absence, even played a bunch of Billy songs, which you'll see some on next week's episode. But congratulations to Billy and Allie on the birth of their son. What a beautiful little baby. And I'm so happy for Billy to be a dad and Allie to be a mom, because I think they're going to be great parents. If you want to find out more about the actual articles, you can find those on Jambase. But I also thought this was worth mentioning. So Billy was obviously disappointed that he had to leave the festival. And so they announced that they're going to go ahead and issue refunds for all the tickets for renewal, which I think is probably coming out of Billy's pocket. But he's a kind of stand-up guy because he didn't have to do that. We still saw great performances. We still saw amazing performances by Molly Tuttle and Jerry Douglas and a new band that I hadn't heard of called Mountain Grass Unit that you should definitely check out. But we're all getting some money back. And I actually just got the email today for my refund for the ticket. So hats off to you, Billy, for really, doing the right thing on this, even though you didn't have to. No faulting you for, going back to see your kid be born, but a nice thing to do regardless. So if you are listening to this audio show on your favorite podcast app, make sure that you head over to the YouTube channel, because that's where you're going to get the videos, the visuals, and all the different supplemental stuff that is outside of this show. You can also go to musicfestivalspodcast.com and join the neighborhood. So the official email newsletter is going to launch this month. And I do want to thank those who've already signed up. There's been a lot of folks who've jumped on board on that. There's going to be some exclusive content in there. Check out the new Facebook page. So we just launched that, and that is up. If you're a Facebook user, I am predominantly a Facebook user. Instagram's fairly new to me. Jump into the Facebook page. There's going to be a lot of different visuals there as well. And you can follow me on Instagram. I am at NeighborNateFests, at NeighborN8Fests. And there's going to be some stuff shared there. I was actually kind of proud because I don't do Instagram that well, but I had a couple different posts and a couple different reels that got some virality at Billy Strings Renewal. So that was kind of cool. And as of November 2024, we're going to be launching the VIP Neighbors Club, and that's going to be a few dollars a month for even more premium content. So my goal with this is eventually to hopefully turn it into my day job. I know it's going to take a while, and I do have a lot of appreciation for the folks who've jumped in early, but keep a lookout for that. If you like what you're seeing and you want to get the behind the scenes type of closed door content that you can get on your Patreon sites or other different membership sites, a few dollars a month, you'll get that as well. So let's get into renewal and get started with this.
This is not an exaggeration, but it's incredibly hard to describe how beautiful this drive is from Denver to Buena Vista. I'm about 50 miles out of Buena Vista right now. I feel microscopic, like as big as everything is out here, just even like the prairies and the meadows and the valleys between the mountains and the mountains themselves. I feel like a tiny, tiny speck on the earth. So I decided to take a quick stop at Kenosha Pass, which is the sign that's right behind me. Glares cherry haze, so I don't know if you can see it. But it's beautiful, right? And so, yeah, I just had to take some pictures, but lots of people just pull off. Apparently, there's a bunch of hiking trails. Sign says we're at about 10,000 feet elevation. It definitely feels a little bit cooler, but check this out. The last place I was at, that pass, there was even a campground there where there was primitive tent camping, but it looked like there was a lot of people with vans and RVs and stuff that were also pulling in. I didn't see any like hookup sites or anything, so I think you're dry camping or maybe generator camping. But it seems like you just kind of pick where you want to go and then you pull off and find a spot, because it's just huge out here. There's so much space. This drive is incredible. Like seriously, just as picturesque. I mean, I got a bubbling brook on my left side. I got rock formations on the right side. Unreal, unreal. One thing to note on the way out here, most of the way through the mountains, it's 50, 55, and for good reason too. It's a little bit of a winding road. When you're driving something like this camper van, this guy built this with what looks like a lot of lumber, so it's heavy. Like I could feel like how heavy it is, and it feels a little top heavy because it's a little washy on turns. So, you know, if you do rent a camper and you're driving out to Cottonwood Meadows, like, yeah, definitely like pay attention to the speed limits on the downgrades, because when you try to go to brake, if you're not ready, it's not going to slow down that quick. I'm assuming this is Buena Vista. I don't know yet. We'll see. It looks like a populated area. Wow. I could not imagine just living here. What a gorgeous view.
What a day. I just realized that I've been up since like 4 o'clock this morning, East Coast time, and I'm 2 hours behind now. But I made it to a little campground on the very edge of Buena Vista. It is Snowy Peaks Campground. It is the only campground that's close, but it's literally right on the edge of town. I stopped at a gas station to get some stuff, get some beer actually, and I got the rest of my food at a little grocery store. But everybody's super friendly here. Pointed me to this campground. It's a beautiful little campground. I got an electric site. I got a water site. It was like $50 for the night, which is not bad at all. I am guessing that there are probably some people going to Renewal that are camping here for tonight to get in line tomorrow. I haven't seen any like Billy flags or anything yet. But if you're coming into town and you're driving a van or a camper and you want to get in the night before, this is definitely the place to do it at. It's a great little campground. It's cheap. There's shower facility and they have Wi-Fi. There's rock formations to the back of the campground that very much remind me of like Red Rock Canyon or Red Rock Gorge in outside of Las Vegas. We were there once or twice. As I'm looking over, you can see snow-capped peaks. I guess they've already got snow. This place is just gorgeous. It really is. Like, what a cool place to camp. I'm so excited for this festival. So that was the travel day. So some commentary on that. We did a little bit on Outdoorsy, which is where I rented the camper van from, and that worked out really, really well. It was an easy check-in process. It was an easy drop-off process. For the most part, the camper delivered. It was a little bit more beat up than I thought it would be, but it worked out just fine. The best part is I could pull in, literally open the door, and I was set up. So if you are traveling and you don't want to tent camp, or you don't want to, rent the Suburban and try to sleep in the back of that, outdoorsy.com is a great place to get a camper. And when you go out west, particularly to Colorado, there are just tons of camper vans all over the place. That's what it seems like everybody uses out there. So I go and I pick up my camper in Denver. I roll right by a liquor store. I grab my liquor. I roll another couple blocks to a dispensary. I grabbed what I needed from the dispensary, and I got on the way to the mountains and got driving. It was all around a great experience. And Buena Vista itself is a really neat town. So I wish I would have got video of this, but there was a gal I met once I got to the festival named Caroline, who was a volunteer parking attendant. Turns out that Caroline had moved to Buena Vista from Denver a couple years prior. Her and her husband bought a house up there because they went to a show and just couldn't leave. She ended up becoming one of the librarians, if not probably the librarian at Buena Vista. It's not a very big town. In fact, I think at some point, the population of the festival was about double the population of Buena Vista, Colorado. But she had all kinds of great, interesting information to share about the town. There's a railroad there. There's a prison there. Back in the 1800s, it was known for brothels. And then after the pandemic, there was a great big influx of people who decided to move to Buena Vista because they no longer had to work in offices, right? So once that remote working thing really got popular, people looked at the destination and went, why the hell wouldn't I live there, right? I'm actually hoping to track Caroline down and maybe have her on the show sometime to talk a little bit more about Buena Vista, because it just seemed like a really fascinating place. But I very much enjoyed my stay at Snowy Peaks. wonderful service. You can also, around Buena Vista, there's plenty of free camping. You can go to national forest state parks off the side of the road in some cases, and you can camp for free. But for me, I wanted to have at least one last shower and the ability to plug in to try to save the solar panels and the batteries, because I wasn't sure how that was going to work. If I would have had a bigger rig, if I would have had a bigger camper, I probably would have still gone to the campground to have one more night of plugging in, charge everything up, fill up with water. So definitely consider Snowy Peaks. It is one of the only campgrounds, if not the only campground, that is in Buena Vista. There's a few others that are close, but really enjoyed my stay there. It was beautiful. So got up the next morning and headed out to the venue, and this is what it looked like. All right, I just left Snowy Peak Campground and I am heading on Highway 24. So Snowy Peak is about 5 minutes from Cottonwood Meadows. So one of the things to know before you go, as you're heading towards Crossman Avenue, if you're coming from the campground or you're coming from that direction, I noticed you could see the billy heads and the billy goats in the parking lot. Camper vans, other campers. There are 3 to 4 big parking lots. So there's a Love's there, there's an Ace Hardware, there's a Napa Auto Parts down the road. And it looks like this is a place that if you do need to meet up with a group of friends, if you're traveling with people and you want to camp by them, and you're coming from different places, those are good spots because you're literally a mile away. And I'm just pulling up to the venue now and people are in line and it's already a good sized line. Wow, is this place gorgeous? Holy shit. Like, what a view behind this. That's going to be the direction of the stage. But yeah, it's getting thick already. I'm glad I got here early. Look at this. It is officially like 8:25, so I tooled around a little bit. Didn't want to be the first person in line. And look at this already. Crazy. It looks like the line is moving. It's about 9:05, so they started letting people in now. So it seems like everybody lines up at 8 o'clock. There's already over 1,000 cars in this parking lot, so I'm kind of blown away at that. But I am interested. We'll see how efficient the check-in process is, because for a festival this big, it seems like Bonfire really has their logistics down pretty well. I did meet some folks from Denver that parked next to me. You'll see them on video. Super cool family though. Very cute kids. Very nice story.
I'm Megan.
I'm Wally. I'm Jules.
I'm JT.
Hey, it's so good to meet you guys. So I'm pulling in. We just kind of pulled up together in line. You guys have been here 3 times. This is your 3rd time. There's been 4. Tell me about like what brought you to the festival in the first place.
Billy. We just, we love Billy and we started listening to him and then knew this was going on. So we first year we were able to, we came.
And you guys are Denver, right?
We're out of Denver. Yep.
So totally not a terrible drive for you.
Nope.
What do you love about it? What keeps you coming back?
It's so family friendly, and Billy has really catered to the families, especially the kids too.
Yeah.
Once you're inside the venue, you'll kind of see it. But it's just easy, and once again, we love Billy.
And in this setting, the setting's awesome and the music. So it's a great place.
Yeah, I think the music and then just like the culture also, like everyone's kind of taking care of each other.
Yeah.
And that's what the world needs right now.
Right. Yeah. What do you guys do back home? Like, what do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
I'm an attorney.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So how long in general have you guys been going to music festivals?
Since college.
Yeah, since 2009 was my first one,
Yeah.
I think, or no, 2008 maybe.
Okay, what was it?
It was Big Summer Classic, String Cheese, and in Arkansas, or
Yeah.
Missouri.
What about you?
Rothbury.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That was
Back when it was still
Rothbury,
Rothbury.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was that more EDM back then? Or?
No.
It had a mix,
Still like
yeah.
A mix of everything.
Yeah.
Now I think it's more into EDM.
Yeah,
Mm.
right.
So what do you guys like to do here? What do you guys like to do when you come to Renewal?
We like to get face paint and play,
Face painting. That's cool.
and we like swimming in the little rivers that we find.
And you guys are tent camping. You're in the family area.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me what that's like. Like, where are you guys at?
Oh, it's awesome. So there's just a grove of aspen trees, and they're changing right now, so it's beautiful. And then they're right by the lake.
Hello. Hello.
And the kids just run free.
Like, so I mean, like the cutest kids ever, right? Like it was really, really enjoyable meeting their family, and I ended up hanging out with them throughout the weekend. They were camped actually right over by the lake, so not too far from me. I actually ended up in Harvest Moon. Was supposed to be in one of the other campgrounds, but I was pleased that I ended up in Harvest Moon because it was quiet and it was beautiful. But just really, really interesting folks at this festival. So we're in line, we finally get in, and then it's time to set up camp, right? And so let's take a look at what that situation was as we're pulling in. Which means that I didn't need an RV pass, which is good. And I'm going to Buck Moon. Buck Moon is the car camping, so I'm assuming they'll take me there. But these guys really do have the logistics down of this. It's pretty good. So Flower Moon is across from Buck Moon, and I'm passing that right now. That's the sign to Flower Moon. So Flower Moon is over here, and that must be the family camp that JT and Megan were talking about that are in the trees. So I'll have to go visit them later. JT and Megan were the folks that I interviewed when we got here. Well, I can't complain one bit about the camp spot. Holy shit, look at this. Nelson Ledges, I love you, but I think the Cottonwood Meadows folks might have you here. So I'm by the lake, not in the tree line, but that's all right. I'm not worried about a little sun. It actually is better to have the sun on the solar panels, but this is the tree line here. There's one of the lakes. And then this is what I open up to. So here's where I'm parked, which was super easy to get in, right? Like just pull straight in, very easy. Everybody's in a line here, so this is gonna be a big party area. And then that's the view. That's the view right there. You just can't beat it. It's fucking sweet. All right, so Clint, we just met your neighbors.
Yeah, buddy, Nate.
So you guys are getting all set up. You said you used to live in Denver, but where'd you?
Yeah. So lived in Denver until about 2021, and moved out to Nashville, Tennessee, and now I'm Billy's neighbor up there.
Nice.
So I think he's about 15 minutes from me, which is cool.
Like actually, like in the same neighborhood. That's awesome. What do you like about? So this is your first time at Billy Strings Renewal, but what do you like about Billy? It sounds like you've been following him for a while.
Yeah, man. It was so-called love at first sight with Billy. You see him picking that guitar like he can do. And it's hard. I was always into bluegrass music. Green Sky, Infamous String Dusters, those types, and then just seeing Billy do what he does, it pulled me in that much further. So. Yeah. The bluegrass progression has really skyrocketed since about 2017, I think, when I first saw him. I am in marketing, so I work for Ford and North Face are my big clients, and I do like software sales for them and sell marketing programs that are running off VadTech. So nice.
Family at home, right?
Family at home. Got a 14-month-old son and a wife back in Nashville. They gave me a weekend away on my own. They said, go deserve it. Or go enjoy it. You deserve it. So awesome. It's good. I definitely miss them, but this will be a nice break from craziness of work and being a dad. So
what other festivals do you go to?
So not a ton of festivals, more just kind of one-off shows. Festivals these days with the kid is a lot harder to do. Right. But definitely love seeing Fish. Humphreys McGee is probably my favorite, in the jam band scene. Just saw them down at the Caverns in Nashville or in Tennessee a couple weeks ago, which seeing a show in a cave for the first time was pretty badass.
Are you going to Cave Fest?
No, not making it down to that, but that was my first Caverns experience, and it was rad. Yeah,
it's a great venue down there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you talking to me, and that'll be a good show.
Absolutely, Nate.
A lot this weekend, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You enjoy, buddy.
Cheers.
All right.
So I was blessed with really, really great neighbors. Clint and his group were so kind and just enjoyable neighbors to camp next to. I think I must have borrowed ice from them like 3 or 4 times because I didn't have a cooler, couldn't get a cooler on the plane. One thing to note, so Clint and his group did the VIP passes, and as I look back, I wish I would have done that. Compared to GA, it was not that much more. It was maybe 150, 200 bucks more. But where they had, and you'll see this next week on the rest of, on part 2 of the recap episode, but where they had the GI, the VIP sitting area set up was great. It was up on the hill. It overlooked the stage, very much like if you were in a theater and you would see the box seats kind of of up to the corner of the stage. That's where the VIP area was. There were special performances. I know that those guys went and caught Mountain Grass Unit in the VIP area, which I guess was a stellar performance. I'm really impressed with Mountain Grass Unit and the fact that some of those guys look like they're like 18 or 19 years old and they just play the hell out of their instruments. But really enjoyed meeting Clint, really enjoyed where I camped. So I'm not going to review the festival yet this week because we've got all kinds of videos. We haven't actually seen any of the venue or the performance yet. That's coming next week. So make sure to tune in to that. Part 2 of Billy Strings Renewal Recap. We're going to have videos from Billy's talkback session before leaving. And that was interesting. I've got some footage of the venue in terms of the venue tour. So you get to see the rest of Cottonwood Meadows. It is a massive venue. It is huge. And I didn't have my scooter at this one. So I'll bet you I was walking 4, 5, 6, 7 miles a day just to get around. One of the biggest yoga events I've ever seen at a festival. Yoga has become very popular at festivals, but at Billy Strings Renewal, there was at least 1,000 people all doing yoga at once. We talked to some folks there, and the campfire jams. The campfire jams were stellar, especially up in Sturgeon Moon, which is kind of I believe it's the northernmost camping area. ADA's up there. It's kind of up on the hill a little bit, beautiful views. But the level of musicianship that people were just hanging out at campsites and jamming together was fantastic. And then next week, I'm hoping to have a couple special neighbors that I actually met at Renewal join in for the conversation. So stay tuned for that. I do appreciate that you tune in, especially since this is the first season. So thanks for taking a vote. I'm getting a lot of great feedback that people like this because it doesn't exist. And I think there needs to be a new show about music festivals. And so that's what I'm doing. So I appreciate each of you. There's almost 600 of you now. And that's only after 10 episodes. And so, yeah, I'm going to keep going with this if y'all don't mind. Watch the channel, especially for short videos and other things from Renewal. So I can't put everything on the news program, but I have hours and hours of video that I've been editing. I've been editing like crazy this week. And also keep a look for Lazy Jam lost recovered footage. So if you've tuned into the show, you know that my gear got nicked out of my car after Lazy Jam. Thank you to the Bexley Police Department for being super diligent and tracking down about 80% of it and actually getting a beat on the guy. I don't know if they got him yet, but when they do, he's in trouble. So keep an eye out for that because I'm going to try to put together a lot of the stuff from Lazy Acres and Lazy Jam in Hartsville, Indiana, which was almost the complete opposite. So you go to Billy Strings Renewal, it's massive festival, about 7,500 people. You go to Lazy Jam, it was about 350 people. Really interesting contrast in terms of being back-to-back festivals for me. If you do like what you're watching, make sure that you go to musicfestivals.com and subscribe. You can do that any way you like. You can get the audio version if you like to listen to it while you drive. You can do it on the YouTube channel. You can sign up for the email list and join the neighborhood. I don't really care. As long as you're in the mix, I'd love to have you as a neighbor. Make sure that if you are listening to the podcast or on YouTube, I enjoy ratings of the show, whether they're good, bad, or ugly. I do appreciate the feedback because I'm still feeling this out. I'm still trying to figure out what is it exactly that people want in this type of a podcast. But as always, I am your host, Neighbor Nate, and I hope to be your neighbor at the next festival. And this is a production of NR Media Group. That's my production company. I'm going to leave you with something very special. So this was one of the only times that we got to see Billy at this festival. Make sure to tune in next week for more videos like you saw today and to get part 2 of the Billy Strings Renewal 2024 recap.
Yeah, you look like the guy from Blues Clues. So, my name is Steve from Blues Clues. Nice. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. Thank you. So my question about the album is, what's the meaning behind this is the beginning of the end? Because I feel like it's kind of cryptic, low-key. It kind of scared me.
No, it's not. It's supposed to be...
Oh, thank God.
I think Jared put it best. It's like in The Office when they look into the camera. And I really wanted to just write a song to express my gratitude for all of you and how it feels when we're all together at a really good show and things are vibing. And when it comes to an end, you know, at the end of a tour, we get so beat on the road, you know, and we're just like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't wait to get home. And then when the end of the tour comes, we play the last note and walk backstage and everybody goes in their own separate runner van and it's sad as hell. You know, and it's sad. I've had times where I was on stage and I'm just having such a great time with everybody and I'm feeling like it's one big beautiful thing. And then I finish the song and I jump in my car, and on the way home grab a slice of pizza, and like 20 minutes later I'm sitting in a dark parking lot eating a slice of pizza thinking, fuck, this is like lonesome, you know. We were all just there, you know. And so I wanted to write a song that would be good to close the show, you know, and just kind of extend my gratitude, and a song for you guys, really. And like Jared said, he said, yeah, it's like in the office when they look into the camera, because it's kind of just direct, like, you know. And it was like the beginning of the end of the record. It's the last song before Richard Petty, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of came.